Attention, please be advised. The following episode contains spoilers. Don't say we didn't warn you.
Well, that's bad news. Bad news is nuclear winter. Well, good news is we won an island.
Nerd On.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Nerd On, the podcast you didn't eat but deserve, where all levels of nerd are welcome.
Yes,
and
they
where
are.
Tonight, we are the law. Tonight, I am the law.
The crossover event
of the year.
Nice.
Tonight, we have a mega topic. We have the Capeless Crusaders joining us here. But first, we have some business to do, and then we'll introduce our guests and get started with the show.
Yes, the business. This episode is brought to you in part by our patrons over at Patreon. We love those guys.
Thank you for everything you do and supporting us to make this show possible. Yes.
I hope we're not watching them that intently.
I
That's
am.
kind of creepy.
I'm in charge of social media, though, so I have to.
That's fair.
But as Ollie said, if you haven't been playing iTunes Roulette or Podcast Roulette, you found out that we're doing the Dark Knight Returns animated movies, part 1 and part 2. But
So
first,
excited.
Pinnacle.
yes, let's introduce our guest hosts, who
Yes.
are something very dear to my heart.
Yeah,
something
give a
that
little
was-
intro, Tom.
That
real
was
quick.
started a couple years ago, several years ago, 4 or 5 years now, when I was living in Sacramento. This is a podcast group that has nothing but love and knowledge, mountains and mountains of knowledge that a dragon like Smog would just hoard.
Yeah.
Comic books, and they're the best people that I've ever met in the comic book community. They are the Capeless Crusaders.
Yes. I would like to say real quick, thanks to Tom and the podcast Capeless Crusaders. You guys are the reason I got back into comic books a few years back. So
Aww.
Yeah.
Yep.
Front
nice.
door.
That's amazing. Nice.
Aww.
Yeah. If you
My
haven't
chest
listened to
hurts.
their podcast, definitely do yourself a favor and go listen. Pick a topic that you like, listen to it, you'll get hooked. But until that happens,
but who are you y'all?
who are you guys? Go
Hey.
ahead.
We're Steps and things.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Wonderful.
There's a girl in this one too.
We got one
We
too.
need more.
Girls
Oh
can
my
be
God, we
things.
need more.
Yes.
We even have a Portuguese.
Oh.
Oh.
We're very diverse.
Yes.
My name. This is really weird because I'm used to having a camera in front of my face. I'm like looking across. I'm like, look at the window. Look at the window. Hi, window. My name is David Barry. I am the one of the hosts of the Capeless Crusaders. And to my right, this is awkward, man. Don't lean in too much.
I can't wait till we do video and it's awkward for us to do video.
Yeah.
We'll share tips.
Yes.
This
Great.
isn't a mud pit. It's an operating table. And I'm the surgeon. This is the historian one, Anthony Steves. Wow, you were better than the old guys.
Yeah, you
were better than
I
that.
saw
Was RoboCop.
You're gonna be our resident quotician.
it was RoboCop.
Yeah.
That
The
was
voice.
actually good. Yeah.
Anyway,
it is
to my
RoboCop.
right is
I'm back to doing this. I actually started in audio, so yay for me. I know how to project. This is Amy. You can find me at iJaneURobot on all the stuffs and things.
I didn't do any of my
and
social media.
if you need to find the doc because he can't remember, he's Dr. Barry.
No, they don't do that on their show.
Whatever. Anyway, you
Do
can
whatever
watch
you
us,
want.
but
You can
on
do it, it's
my
fine.
right, because he's the quietest one, he's Baby Bear.
And I listen to the show, so I know just to say, this is Manderson.
Perfect.
Well done.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
Thank you.
And at the Nerd On HQ, we have me, Tom, and
Ali.
Josh.
Caitlin.
And I'm Tom.
no.
Oh, I'm Corey, the loud one. Rude boy on the
There you
lot.
go.
My best
Off
friend.
Script, Corey.
Yeah.
God.
Sorry. My best friend. Oh.
But yeah, this is a really big moment for me specifically, just because like I've said this before on the podcast, like when Josh and Corey and Ali said, "Hey Tom, let's make this podcast thing happen," many months ago in a break room, I was like, I already do one, and I'm like, I can't do any more. Like there's so much in my life that I'm doing. But
Actually, another kind of thing about this is we joke about it, but it is a crossover event because we were on a show of Capeless Crusaders on their show a couple of weeks ago, last week.
then
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but I'm talking about the same thing, but the animated version.
Yeah.
So this is fun.
Through the magic of time travel.
Radio.
Wow.
Surprises.
This is part 2.
Exactly.
Correct.
But yeah, so Crusaders, tell us a little bit about yourselves, what you're about your show, and what you guys do.
Cool. We are Sacramento's #1, allegedly,
Yes.
podcast for anything supposedly
Comic book.
comic
related.
book related.
On occasion.
I love all those parentheses.
100%. Yeah.
Got to keep them in there, lawyers.
We do audio and video. We stream on Twitch, and we talk about comic books, all things comic book related, which at this point is pretty much
Everything.
Everything comic related.
We do a D&D episode.
we do D&D,
once a
and
month.
they're comic book characters.
They are. I'm
That's
just
awesome.
Pretty
counting
great.
currently.
Yeah,
That's great.
We're
We're actually in our home comic book shop. doing-
Empire's Comics Vault in Sacramento, California.
Sorry.
It hurts my ears.
Chickies.
Yes, we are in our home base of Empire's Comics Vault, which is the best comic book store in Sacramento, allegedly.
You gotta aim that.
See, I can cover myself by doing that.
Purported.
If I go into any other comic book store and I say, I was like, oh, it was allegedly. They're like, yeah, we know.
But this one comes with pugs.
This one comes with pugs.
Oh,
hugs,
well,
and
then
It
hot
sounds like the
sauce.
best one then.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
There's
got
pugs?
And the
They got
client
pugs.
and the employees smell the best of all the stores.
Heck yes, I'm an employee.
Perfect.
yeah.
Just so that our listeners get a little bit more understanding of you guys, you know, you guys do this a lot. Every episode is called Round the Horn.
Mhm.
I would like you guys, if you guys can have on the top of your head, share any comics that you would like any new listeners to read.
Ooh, good
Oh,
question.
man.
Me.
Round.
Oh,
Round the horn.
Sorry,
Round the
I'm in the
horn.
middle of the circle.
This is
Sorry,
actually
I
the
got
first time we're
excited.
actually in a circular fashion.
We are.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's happening.
They just explode.
So excited.
So,
Round table.
Manderson.
I got one. I'm
you,
good.
You look like you're ready to go.
Yeah, I have
You
a,
actually
I have a
checked.
list. So
I have a list.
Oh no.
I'm gonna focus on one.
Write these
On
down.
our show, it'll be the lit. It was the list. So I've been really digging this series called Oblivion Song.
Robert
it's-
Kirkman.
Yeah, Robert Kirkman, the guy who
Ooh.
Josh, you
wrote
know.
Walking Dead, and it's
And Die.
it has like a similar-ish feel, but it's a very different story. It like jumps back and forth between this kind of post-apocalyptic, that's a hard word for me to say, type world, and like just modern times. I don't want to like get into how that works because that would spoil some of it. But it's really well drawn. It's really well told. There were like 3 issues in. It's like, okay, I get it. And then like at the end of each issue, they kind of like that last panel just hooks you back in for another one. Whether you're like really into it or not, the last panel, you're like, okay, I need the next one like tomorrow, but it's a monthly thing, so I gotta wait. So Oblivion Song, it's put up by Image, Kirkman. It's fantastic. There's 6 issues in, so it's not so bad that you can't catch up yet.
My
Okay.
only issue with Oblivion Song is that when it's listed, it's not listed as Oblivion Song.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
It's listed
not.
Oblivion Song by Kirkman.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, big head, huh?
Skyback. So-
Yes, I'm one of this. I'm a CFO at Image Comic. I mean, he is a big deal. That's
He is. He looks normal.
Amelia.
Yay! So if we are going to start out, I've been reading a lot because I had to catch up. But if there's something that I would so press anybody that is new to comics that wants a Korean drama / comedy in space with family,
I'm listening.
I know I'm speaking somebody's language.
It's mine.
Yes, girl. Afterwards, this K-drama. I got you for days.
Their
I'm
girl and our
in.
girl like each other. Things are good.
Okay, so lend me your ear holes for the magic that got me back into comic books, which is Saga.
Yeah.
Literally, ding the bell, whatever y'all need to do. Close the door. This puppy is 54 issues in. They are taking at least a 1-year break. It is Brian K. Vaughan, Fiona Staples. This thing packs so many punches and it just keeps coming. Oh my God. Anyway, 54, I just finished. I know Barry's behind.
10 issues.
4 issues. You were 4 or 5.
Sure.
Something. There we go. You're 54
behind.
issues currently behind.
Wow.
But our narrative is actually given from the perspective of the daughter, and it is a family in space. They are collecting different
It's pretty
people.
amazing.
It's like Romeo and Juliet were in space, and one has wings and one has horns, and there's a war. And
Whoa.
Very cool.
There's a very
Interesting.
large, since I can say it, there's a large albino dragon that's sucking his own dick. So
Yes!
if you're in for that shit,
It's supposed to be unadaptable.
own dick. Look at that.
It's literally written so it can be not adaptable.
Let me just
Challenge
go ahead and
accepted.
say, I'm in.
Yeah.
yes.
I'll sign up for
Yes.
that
Beautiful
too.
thing is Saga will
You
never
had
be a
me
TV
at
show.
dragons sucking its dick.
That's the last thing.
Yeah, It didn't happen.
That was the
even
last
have to
thing
be
she said.
albino. Oh,
It's a
boy.
good thing she said it then.
Oh, hi.
Do you
I
have an
wasn't sure
ogre
about
that
the
has his
Romeo and
balls out
Juliet.
That's really massive. So it's just okay. I'm sorry, I got really distracted. 'cause
All
now
right,
I'm thinking about that
Saga.
panel. Saga. You guys want to get on the Saga
So
train? I
fire
actually had
Google
somebody that just
image
finished all 1 through 54 in 2 days. So
Wow.
And now,
Okay.
because they're on a break, is the perfect time.
yeah, then because it's the perfect opportunity to get caught up, fall in love with characters, and hate yourself a little bit later because you've run out of things to watch, just like Korean dramas. Anyway,
Oh, yes.
Azorian
Very
one.
much.
I'll have to catch up because
Caitlin,
I'm
I
only like
appreciate
20
your
issues in.
enthusiasm for this book.
You go.
Since
Yep, there
you would
it is.
think since I'm wearing a Batman shirt, I'm going Batman, but I'm not.
They can't see
I'm
that.
not.
They can't see
They
it.
can't see that.
They
That's
can't
why I
see my
said
shirt
it. That's
either.
why I said it.
I'm
so
wearing
they
a
would
Batman
know I'm wearing a
shirt, too.
Batman shirt.
You're
Nice.
also wearing an athletics hat. So
I'm
that
also.
makes sense.
Oh wait,
You're wearing a Flash shirt.
damn it! I fucked up.
Say it.
I'm wearing one
Two
too.
words: hack slash.
It's always hack. It's always Cassie.
Eh.
I'm sorry. That was the. It's always Cassie. The first comic I read that really hooked me. That wasn't a superhero. Wasn't DC. Wasn't Marvel. Imagine the girl who survives a horror movie. Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween. Nev Campbell in Scream. And instead of playing the victim, they decide to take vengeance upon all slashers that exist in the world.
That's
Yeah.
Josh.
dig
That's
that.
Josh
Say
right
fuck
there.
him up. Say
Huh?
what? Say fuck 'em up.
Josh has a raging nerd on with that.
I
Yeah.
need to
Oh,
watch
dude.
it.
dude, this is like
read
even
it.
I've read this.
The
this
girl
shit.
basically she goes to small towns, embeds herself with the popular group in high school, so she can get to the parties that are out in the boonies.
Did we
and
mention she
when-
always looks like a high schooler too?
She always happens to look like a high schooler. She goes to the parties, goes out to the boonies, and when the killer arrives, she then unleashes. I can't speak. Apocalyptic.
You got it.
She moves you in such a deep way, dude.
She fucks bad guys up.
There it is.
Yeah.
She has a
Ooh.
baseball bat that says "Kiss It" on it, and she unleashes vengeance. There
Wow.
it is.
That sounds amazing.
That
So
sounds
yes,
awesome.
hack
Between
slash.
That and the dick sucking dragon. I got some things I need to read.
So far,
we
we're
got
all
you covered.
image,
We
baby.
We got a busy
we got a
week
little
ahead.
bit of everything. You throw in some magic, we got this shit
Yeah.
super on lock.
One
dude.
mega
I'm about to
comic.
throw in some magic.
Oh
Here he
shit!
comes.
Are
Oh
you ready for
shit!
this?
We're bracing.
So-
Brace it. Gird your
Here's-
loins.
Here's friends on Nerd On.
Yes.
Hi.
Do you guys know what the Eisners are?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay. So
Hmm.
the Eisners are basically the equivalent of the Academy Awards for comic books. They're
Oh.
voted on by industry professionals, and if you get an Eisner, even an Eisner nomination, you are seen as
Golden
Kind of a
God.
big deal.
Yeah, you're a big ass deal.
You're the hot shit.
So
Run with it.
this past San Diego Comic Con, they announced the Eisner Awards, and for the first time in its history, a woman won Best Writer.
Bingo.
Yes.
Good.
Oh,
And
it's
the
gonna get better.
series
It's gonna get
that
so much
she
better.
writes, her name is Marjorie Liu. She writes a series called Monstrous.
Fuck yes.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Monstrous is, I believe, 16 issues in,
2 trades out.
2 trades.
First trade's $9.99.
Yeah, always $9.99 because it's Image. So Monstrous, it's almost difficult to explain because it's such a wonderfully built and woven and established universe. But it basically follows a character who is a veteran of a war between humans and magical-like creatures. And she finds that she is not only how can I put it? She's not only one of the
Happen.
greatest soldiers that her side had. She's also basically possessed by a deity who their people worship, and it gives her this insatiable hunger to kill and to feed. But it also ties her into her lineage and the kings and gods and queens of.
There's a lot of
her-
lore with it.
Yeah.
There's an extreme amount of
So
lore.
good.
They actually have cats with multiple tails that hold the lore of their.
You need
their
some
universe.
not nine-tailed
Cats with
foxes, though.
Corey.
Yes, and then yeah,
It's
yeah, and
designed
then
like anime. It's designed like a manga.
It's drawn like a very classy anime. Like I'm sometimes critical.
So
of how
long ass
anime
legs and
looks.
short torsos.
You guys are gonna like the Nerd On guys are gonna be surprised because I've read it.
Oh.
For the first time, I know about something.
Oh shit!
And
Cultured swine.
not all of it, not all of it, but I have read it before and I liked it. It's
grew up
very
so
intense,
fast.
but it's
Good.
all things.
Good job.
It is so beautiful. The writing is phenomenal. It sucks you in. It
It's
doesn't
really
let you
good.
go. Read Monsters.
Okay.
Awesome.
Those are some
Okay.
great suggestions,
Thank
guys.
you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
Now with
Listeners
that-
at home, go check
Yes.
those out now.
And with that, we can jump into our main event, the topic that everyone got clickbaited to click and listen to.
Yeah.
Clickbaited to click.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Tom, for your fine
That's
use
how it
of words and English.
100%. 100.
Takes their time.
So The Dark Knight Returns Part 1, Part 2, the animated movies.
Yes.
Let's start out with initial reactions. Now, Crusaders, you guys did a lot of talking there. We'll do our reactions first, and then we'll toss it over to you.
For those who don't know, based on the popular graphic novel by Frank Miller, arguably changed Batman forever.
100%.
the
Yeah.
the 4-issue miniseries.
Yes.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Oh, it's the
it
first
turned
thing. I'm sorry.
it made people get real think about Batman in a darker way. You know, everyone was really used to camp, and everyone was really used to like he's not the Boy Scout in blue, but he's like the nice guy. And then all of a sudden, like now he's dark and broody, and everyone wants to do an adaptation of it. And now the entire DC universe is based off of that. So let's talk initial reactions about the animated movies, just the animated movies itself. I'll start first.
Yeah.
Um,
Since you're wearing the Batman shirt here.
I'm wearing literally Fat Man shirt.
Yeah.
And this Dark Knight is literally dubbed Fat Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because he was big boy.
Mhm.
He's a little thin slick, little thickness, little fat with a pH. You know
I
what I'm saying?
didn't see it as fat. I saw it as muscular.
Well, he's just the most
like
baldest.
every
He
character
ain't
was
fat,
strong.
he's
Yeah.
juicy.
Yeah, he's juicy.
There you go.
Juicy.
He's thick with 3 C's, Tom.
Yeah, exactly.
Succulent.
Thin slick. But yeah. So it's part of the DC animated universe, and I will say DC animated universe is probably the best thing DC's got going for it now. And I remember watching this. I think it was the first time I saw it was like on HBO, and so it definitely had come out on DVD and Blu-ray and all that stuff. But seeing it on HBO was phenomenal, and like I knew where it was coming from. I got first turned onto like The Dark Knight Returns as the comic book because of Nightfall. And then all of a sudden finding out that they're doing an animated adaptation of it, I was like, okay, we'll see what happens. And they immediately said it's gonna be part 1, part 2. And I was like, damn, okay, can't make it into just one. But they're like, no, part 1, part 2. I was like, okay, cool. And it's so funny because the first thing I remembered was seeing commercials for it, and the I guess box art for the movie is very like how the New 52 looks like, or a classic Batman, like Jim Lee looking, and then the animation is going to be completely different.
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting to see Peter Weller,
Yes.
who's the voice
Yeah.
of Robo,
Yeah.
who
Hear
is
him, rather.
RoboCop, and
RoboCop.
to hear him instead of like Kevin Conroy or Reno Romano or anyone else has played Batman. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I felt like this is an Elseworld story, so knowing that it's not part of like the Bruce Timm universe or any type of main continuity, I was like, I'm okay with this being an animated film because it gives another story like Gotham by Gaslight or like Ninja Batman. It's just a fun story you can have on the side that enriches the world that we live in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my initial reaction.
I personally saw it a few like I said earlier, I hadn't gotten back into comics the first time I saw it. But again, it was on HBO.
Mhm.
And I loved it. I thought it was really interesting. And then I watched it again in preparation for this, and I found that there were a lot of little moments that I kind of fell in love with that I hadn't really noticed the first time around, that I'll get into when we get further into it. But I liked the voice as well. I really enjoyed what they did with Joker in it. Which is I found a lot of people, it's kind of like a polarizing topic.
Yeah.
But I especially the second time around really warmed up to what they did with him. But all in all, I really liked it.
I was down with him because it's Michael Emerson, and I'm probably an outlier in saying that I was a huge fan of Lost.
No, I loved Lost
throughout even its darker times.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then you're probably
The times we don't talk about.
I still watched it just fine, So I was super excited about that edition.
Well, while you're talking, why don't you continue with your initial?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Just take
go
it.
on.
I loved it. I mean, Dark Knight Returns is one of those books that I read a long time ago, and immediately fell in love. It's one of the main reasons I'm a huge Batman fanatic. He's probably my favorite DC superhero. Or he is absolutely my favorite DC superhero.
Let's be
No
honest.
beating
Not
around the bush.
probably.
I grew up with everything Batman. That and the WB animated series were kind of the two big defining factors for me. So going into this movie, I knew it was gonna, like, I heard like they were gonna get rid of the narration, and they're gonna, the animation was a little different, a little cleaner, or whatever.
Not
but
so
even
many lines like a
yeah,
scroll.
right. Not the super genuine
As
Frank Miller
as
craziness.
Tom said the other day, the Thanos face.
Right, the Thanos faces.
Everyone has lines.
Everyone has lines on their chins. But no, I was a huge fan. Like Peter Weller, Michael Emerson, like the casting was awesome. I loved every bit of it.
Caitlin.
So
I want to hear you a lot because I know you were like, I have so many feels. I was like, I want to hear this.
So my acquaintance with I watched the live action Batman, and then I watched
Batman.
Mhm.
Wow.
and then I watched the animated series, and then I watched Batman Begins.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Christian Bale movie.
no. Oh, I forgot the
Bat-
other cartoon one.
Batman
where it's not
Beyond.
Batman. That one.
I love that one.
Yes.
That's Tom's favy.
Easy now.
So I have, I am aware of the material and whatnot. And this movie, I've only seen it once, and I saw it a couple days ago to get ready for this. And I have a lot of emotions about it. And I am not sure that they're all good.
Okay.
That's fine.
That's awesome.
That's fair.
Okay.
And we'll get into it.
Joshua,
We'll get
sweet
into
baby
it later.
Josh.
So leave it at that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I've only seen it once. I kind of would like to see it again, because the comic I've read multiple times now, and yeah, I have some feels about it as well.
Mhm.
But all in all, I loved it.
To further my point a little bit more, because I think I just said I liked it.
I like the movie.
It touches on the aspect of Batman that I am most interested in, which is way later in his life.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in the origin stories.
Yeah, that's kind of when I got into comic books a few years ago, a friend of mine, I kind of explained to him, I'm not a big superhero comic fan.
Mhm.
I want alternate things, and he turned me into Walking Dead or other
Yeah.
Brian K. Vaughan stuff, Why the Last Man,
Yep.
different stuff.
Mhm.
And he was like, okay, but I need to give you at least one thing that's superhero related. And it was Dark Knight Returns. And so seeing the movie, that's why I love that it's kind of an alternate thing.
Yeah.
It's not like Batman doing Batman stuff per se. It's like a whole nother timeline kind of, for me anyway. I like the movie.
I like the movie.
I think I messed this up by also not doing our Guess That Grump sequence.
You always do that.
I always
and
do
you're
that.
the
It's always
grump.
after this, and so we kind of already know. But I guess we should still have Guess That Grump because it is going to be now a show staple. And with Guess
Yeah.
That Grump, with everyone involved now.
We have 9 people.
We have
I
9
just want to
people.
point that out.
But I'm still going to say that.
They can still play. They can play with Capeless
Yeah.
afterwards because they haven't gone yet.
Okay. Wait, so how would you suggest that, Ollie?
Well, no, we can go around.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
go ours and then we toss it to them.
Okay. So have the Capeless do their initial reactions.
Yeah.
So,
So
Crusaders,
you're not-
please.
you're not going to guess which of us didn't like it the most?
we'll do it.
Oh, yeah, but yeah. We should, okay, so let's guess our grump for our group,
Okay. Oh, okay. So in 2 grumps
Yes.
per group.
Yes.
So 1 grump per group. Okay.
and then 2 grumps will
Will emerge.
Well,
okay,
victorious.
that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
cut to the death.
I
So,
didn't sign up for Grump.
We figured it out.
So with Guess That Grump, everyone that's listening for the first time, if you're ever listening to our show, it's where since we ever talk about a topic, if it's something that we can rate and talk and analyze with our anal eyes, we rate it, and then whoever has the lowest rating becomes the grump. So we are going to do that now.
Is there not a sash for the Grump? I want to
Not yet. If
vote
you-
for that.
I want
One
a
day.
crown. I want a crown.
This is a
Um,
foregone
you do.
conclusion at this point.
so I'm going to guess that it's going to be Caitlin. I'm guessing it's Caitlin. That's
Yeah.
my guess.
Wow.
I'm guessing it's Caitlin as well.
Wow.
It's not fair because
Well, you don't know. She likes the movie
I
sometimes.
do like the movie.
you like the movie sometimes. I'm just gonna pull a wild card and say Josh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Damn.
It's partially unfounded, but hey.
Karen.
I'm gonna say Josh.
And then Josh.
Josh, who do you say?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say Caitlin.
Okay.
Wow,
Okay.
shocker.
So 3 on Caitlin, 2 on Josh. And then Crusaders, we'll hear your initial reactions, and then you guys can guess the grump of your group.
Oh, we shouldn't do it first?
Yeah.
Or, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
they
you
should do
can
it
you can
first.
guess your
Well,
grump
we can
first,
grump
and
point
then
right now.
Yeah, guess your grump right now. It's probably Barry.
Okay, we'll say his full name on 3. 1, 2, 3. David
Barry.
Barry.
Wow.
There it is.
Wow.
There you go.
This is what we need a disappointment camera so badly, you guys. You have no idea how magical this is.
He's probably laughing.
Not wrong.
They're not wrong.
We know too well.
Yeah, I mean, probably. It's probably me.
Even when he likes something,
I think it's a Steve's.
There we go.
He's not a Batman
Just
fan.
to be a
Best
wild
friend.
card.
All right, initial reaction. I disliked it much less than I thought I would.
Yay!
Wow.
Because
I
I
were
went in,
lower than Batman
No,
and
because-
Ninja Batman.
oh well, because I went into it thinking I would not like it. Like I did not go into it thinking I would like it.
and you like the comic.
I'm not saying I liked it more than I thought I would. I'm saying I disliked it less than I thought I would. It definitely kept me. I thought I was gonna be like trudging through it, and I'm like I have to find time to watch it. And then I will be the first to admit that I started it at like 11 o'clock at night, like after I fed the baby, and then I just ended up watching it all the way through.
Nice.
There you go.
Music.
So it did hold me more than I thought it would. But
For context, where do you stand on WB animation in general?
So here's the problem is Batman the Animated Series was like every day, 3 o'clock, got home from work, watch Batman.
That was church.
I got home from school. I mean,
That was your
work.
X-Men 92.
I was a 12-year-old, and that's all.
This isn't
child labor camps.
Oh no.
But I loved Batman as a kid, loved the Batman animated series, and then as an adult, I grew to have a lot of issues with not the character, but the way the character is usually portrayed.
Okay.
So because of that, I'm always hypercritical of Batman.
So you're really in love with the Bruce Timm universe.
Sure.
He needs some Conroy.
Animated series.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Ish. I have issues with, now again, just like anything else. Like you go back now, I'm like, oh, maybe I was, a 12-year-old, but I think it still stands up.
Yeah.
He's a child.
Steve's.
Enjoyed it, given that Dark Knight Returns is not my favorite Batman comic. I'm more of Batman Year One and The Long Halloween. I'm actually one who likes more of the origin stories, like Batman Begins. I'm only running out of breath. Batman Begins is my favorite Batman film,
We have
so
the Dark Knight
I
here.
like the early part of his career. That being said, like Barry said, I was glued to this movie. I finished it. The music was, I felt like I was listening to Hans Zimmer and John Carpenter working together on a score.
That's a
Because
good.
that was
This
a
is why we're
blend
best
of
friends.
those drums and that Carpenter 80s feel. That kept me glued. It felt like really tense at certain points. But
Oh, yeah.
given that it's not my favorite Batman story, I did enjoy the film as a whole.
Nice.
Nice.
Ooh. So you're getting literally fresh off the I just finished watching it, please don't hate me, oh my gosh, train. Which means is you're getting
Tom,
the most real,
stop
the most
recording.
real that
Stop
we can
it.
afford to.
And end credits. There we go. End credits. There we go.
As
I thought
always,
we were
no
going to
doubt.
bring up the problem that I looked up all the Batman and there was Batman XXX in this thing and I thought it was
Ooh.
some, no, that's the
Okay.
it's the bad one.
Wrong movie.
That was the problems. Anyway, so I surprisingly watching it in compare. Oh, I'm going to try not to compare it to the book. Shoot.
Movie. Oh, no.
For all of the Batmen, animated and non-animated, it was something I felt that I could actually watch. I didn't have it as much problem watching it as The Batman, which was the 2004 to 2008
Reno
series.
Romano.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You said Ray, by the way, dude. And I think it's Reno.
I said
It's
Reno.
Reno.
It's
I,
Reno.
I speak
I heard,
really
Ra-
quick.
I heard
Oh, okay.
Ray,
It sounded like
and we
Ray
were
Romano on our
we're like,
side.
What?
No.
No.
Everybody.
Hey, man,
everybody
why are you
loves him,
Batman
but-
again?
Deborah, where's my cape?
I am the knight.
I'm so sorry to get off of that track. It drove me nuts. So between
speak
that
quickly.
and then Batman 92, I mean, that solidified what my expectations were for any animated Batman coming out. So I've done Gotham by Gaslight. I've done Ninja Batman, we can talk Lego Batman. Like we can go
Why not?
round the horn on that sucker. And this one actually felt for me, I was really impressed that it struck a really great balance between having the 92 feeling for Batman animated series and still maintaining a level of modern animation. I have some foibles and quips that I found when
Foibles and quips.
Yay. Yes, I have those. Yeah, so I got those.
Those would be
but-
qualms and gripes.
Yeah, in our universe.
Just
we could be,
DJ Kwame
you know,
Qualms.
it could be befuddlements and snickerty bits, but
Depends on where you're from.
Yeah.
I'm all over the place, bro. This is not time for that. So I liked it. I have some things about it. I'm not as truly madly deeply in the Caitlin of, it's not the Swamp of Sadness. What is that? I'm sorry. Now I'm thinking Never Ending Story.
The Mud
Anyway,
Pit.
I was okay.
I thought of
was
Savage
okay.
Garden.
I was
Just
going to say
Oh,
Savage
gosh.
Garden, definitely.
Secret Garden?
I'm never gonna get out of this alive, am I?
looking over her corn.
Thank you.
Floating down the river.
Anderson?
He's wearing a Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman
I'm wearing
shirt.
the Trinity.
Trinity is on his chest.
In
right
other
now.
words, it's how people want them to date, but I don't want them to date like that.
That's a different movie. Manderson.
With like standalone movies and stories, I tend to separate them from the main storylines and stuff. So I think the hard part for me was going in and being like, okay, I'm going to compare this to the graphic novel that I loved. And I actually was surprised at how well they conveyed a lot of the story from the book in the movie. Like I thought they did a really good job with that. I had a problem with the voice because I just wanted Kevin so bad.
Yeah.
And I kept seeing the Admiral from Star Trek
Oh,
Into
no.
Darkness like yelling at Kirk when he would speak.
Oh.
But
you didn't imagine Dead or Alive. You're coming,
coming
with
with
me.
me.
That, you didn't hear
Yeah.
that?
no, I didn't hear it. Sorry.
It's fresher.
But overall, I thought it was good. Echoing of Steve's, the music, I loved
Oh,
the music.
on the way here, I heard
It
it.
definitely enhanced the movie for me. And there was definitely some like reminiscent things from the Batman the Animated Series, like some of the fight scenes and the way that he moved, and that was very similar. And so there was like some nostalgia in there for me too.
Nice.
Nice. I dig it.
Awesome. So you guys want to guess? Oh, you guys already guessed your guys'
was
grump?
first,
Yeah,
yeah.
they
So
did
cool.
it
Yeah, our
simultaneously, if
grump
you
is
David
recall.
Barry.
David Barry.
Very great. Just so everyone remembers. So we'll move.
It was a magical moment. No one's ever gonna forget.
We'll move right along to
I hope they don't.
slight brief synopsis and a little lead up, and then we'll go right into our favorite parts and all that stuff. So we're really good at brief synopsis now, since now this is our third.
Because our
comic book-
first one was like half an
half
hour.
an hour long.
Oh yeah, Tom and I went.
That's kind of how we started that. Too.
Okay, cool.
Which one was that? That was
It was our very
it was
first comic
Hush.
Hush. Yeah.
Hush, hush.
Oh,
So
nice
again,
choice, though.
I'll get this started. This is an Elseworld story. This is a Frank Miller creation. He wrote
For
this.
those of our viewers who don't know what that is.
Elseworlds means it's not part of main continuity. Frank Miller was penned to write Batman, and then he was like, I'm older than Batman. That's bullshit. And then he's like, I'm going to make Batman old. And then so this takes place in the future in another
Direct
universe.
quote, by the way.
Yeah. And all superheroes are outlawed with the government. And so Batman's retired. Kishmir Gordon is about to be retired. There are these mutants who have this weird dialect of speech of how they do it. They're rampaging through the city. There's crime everywhere. There's no hope. And there's no other Robins other than Dick and Jason Todd, and Jason Todd is dead. And Batman has vowed to never do it again because of the death of Jason Todd and other things. He ends up getting rekindled to do it again when he sees that crime is happening all over again. The inner bat or the Batman in him is actually speaking out, saying like, "You're nothing," blah blah blah. He recruits Carrie, who ends up becoming the new Robin, and then infiltrates the mutants, and then he has this showdown with the
She
mutant
kind of forces herself upon him.
with like
Yes.
an empowered partner should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he beats up the mutant. He goes to jail. Doesn't really work out, and he needs to influence Gotham. And then so he gets into a big mud fight where he actually humiliates and destroys this mutant leader. And then all the mutants, the gangs, just break up into little divisions. Next
And
part,
they call themselves.
the Son of Batman.
Yeah.
And then there's other ones that work with Bruno and all that stuff. And then throughout all this stuff, like you see where Two-Faces and Joker, they're all supposed to be like rehabilitated and stuff like that. But with Batman coming back, all these other villains start coming back out. There is like political commentary that like Batman is like the symptom of crime. You know, it's like a seduction, erotic kind of thing where like people come out because of him. Joker comes back and starts murdering everybody up in this carnival, starts wreaking havoc. Commissioner Gordon is about to retire. Yindel is gonna like take up the point. Batman and new Robin, Carrie, are chasing Joker down. Joker's just gunning people down this love tunnel. Batman and Joker have this final fight. Joker kills himself by snapping his neck, and then his body is lit to fire,
Well,
so the cops can't really.
Batman does a
do anything.
majority of it.
Yeah, there's a pretty
Let's be
gruesome
fair.
fight.
Paralyzes him.
Let's be fair.
There's a gruesome fight, and he says
He just
no.
kind of snaps the rest of it.
He says no more. He says like all the people that I have murdered by letting you live is a
Yeah.
big thing. And then with the Joker dying, Superman starts getting involved. Commissioner Gordon steps down. Commissioner Yindel comes up and says, "No more Batman. We're arresting the Batman." Ronald Reagan is the president. It's like, "Hey, Supes, you got to handle that little business." You know what I'm talking about? There's political struggle with Cortel Maltese where the Russians are like, "Yo, that's our place. Blah, blah, blah. You can't be there." And there's U.S. soldiers there. A nuclear missile goes over there. Superman and Batman have a conversation when Batman's trying to clean up crime in Gotham. There's a bunch of different sects of gangs and stuff like that. Superman says, "Hey, Bat, you can't do this anymore. We all signed this thing." And then he's like, "Hey, whenever whoever is going to stop me, come get me, come find me, blah, blah, blah." So, there's tension. We all know what's going to happen. They're going to fight. And Superman stops this nuke. He loses all his powers. The whole America is like under dark clouds and shit. So he has no powers. Batman ends up galvanizing all the gangs and all that stuff to create order in Gotham where the rest of the country is in disarray. And then Ronald Reagan's like embarrassed by it. So he says, "Superman, you got to go stop him." They end up having this fight in Crime Alley. And then Batman fakes his own death, destroying Wayne Manor. Alfred dies, and Carrie's the only one that knows the plan. And then you find out that Batman's making a new cave underneath Gotham.
And he's going to teach people how to be Batman.
And that's the end.
Yeah, that was good. That was quick.
It's like 4 minutes.
That was great.
Yeah.
So many hours
And
of content.
And scene. So, a lot of cutout stuff, but I guess this gives us a chance to talk about our favorite moments.
Should we pass over to the Crusaders first?
We
for this?
should pass
Yeah.
it to the Crusaders first.
I'd like to hear their favorite moments. I'm very eager to hear.
Yes.
David, Bill,
What?
Frank, other guys here.
Bueller.
Tom, I wanted to
Bueller.
say that I think we should get the cast of Drunk History to reenact your synopsises.
Yeah,
That would be fun.
I
That'd
was
be great.
thinking that myself.
Let's do a
Or
transcript.
animate them.
that's what I was going for. Yeah, I like that.
So
I
we're
want to do
doing
that.
favorite scenes.
Favorite part.
Favorite
yes.
part.
Favorite parts. Any of them.
Two parts that stuck out because they reminded me of The Dark Knight Rises.
Mm-hmm.
It was when his first night back in the costume.
Oh, yeah.
The guy's shooting the gun at him down the hall, and when the gun flash lights up the darkness, you see Batman going different sides, bouncing back and forth before he takes him out,
Mhm.
which was done in Dark Knight Rises.
Mhm.
And later on, the whole I know the comic was first. I know that.
No, I was talking about the mud pit.
Oh, well, that
Well,
was
I thought you were
got
gonna
lots of
talk
parts.
about when like the rookie cops like stop him. Is like hey,
that was
kid.
next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was next. Yeah, that
like
that
that.
whole reminded me of
You're
Dark
in
Knight
for a
Rises.
show, kid.
Yeah.
You're slowing down. Yeah.
So those two stood out to me because I thought of the Dark Knight trilogy when I saw those two.
Yeah. The other thing I like about that scene is that the veteran cop literally tells the rookie like he's being nice to you by
Yeah.
not like knocking you out by this
And-
point. You just leave him alone for a sec.
He even uses the older cop. Even uses the exact. I mean, he says the line, and then Dark Knight Rises uses the line that they use, which is "You're in for a show tonight, kid."
Yeah.
Exact line.
It's so good. Next.
Anderson?
This probably is not going to be anybody else's favorite part, but I actually like the closing scene.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
At the cemetery where they're all there for Bruce.
yeah. Superman fan. Yeah.
And
uh-huh.
well, yeah. I mean,
Hardcore Supes fan.
Superman. But just the fact, like, despite my wife watched like the last 10 minutes with me,
Mhm.
and so like that fight scene, and
Ooh.
she's like,
Shout out to your wife.
despite the fact that they're beating the crap out of each other, Superman still cared about Batman, even though Batman couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And
Swearing.
but he went to the funeral, like he still cared, and it wasn't that Superman was there. It was like Carrie at the end, just kind of there. She had the mask over her face, and was just like the last person left. And Superman kind of turns around when he hears the heartbeat and gives her a wink, and I'm like, he knows, she knows. And then there was like that whole reveal and of
Yeah.
him continuing. My goodness,
Words are fun.
Post-apocalyptic.
mission and passing it on and fully embracing like just a flip from the very beginning where it's like, I'm Bruce Wayne, I'm retired, and now it's like, no, I am 100% Batman.
Yeah.
I feel it was a good representation of the friendship you and I have, Manderson. Anyway.
I'm also in between you and I love Diana Prince.
And
So
you just want to
I'm
kill me.
screwed.
I want to fight you.
Yay.
What kind of ties back
Yay.
to that?
We'll
Like,
put-
oh, go ahead.
Oh, go for it.
I was just gonna say the whole like I am embracing that he's Batman. It's one of my favorite panels. I don't remember exactly what comic it's from, but it's Wonder Woman hands Superman and Batman the lasso, and he goes, "Who are you?" He's like, I'm Kal-El, and he's like, "You, Batman." I love that.
And that was
And
that wasn't Kingdom Come.
And then that's also
No.
specifically talking about what Kevin Conroy says, like how he finds his favorite performances of Batman are people who realize that Bruce Wayne is the mask and Batman is the real person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but didn't Kevin Conroy say he liked Ben Affleck?
I have a disagreement there. I have a disagreement with him on that one.
Because he understood that. That's why.
Mm.
Anyway, Amy, what'd you think?
Raise your
There's
hand
no
if you've been
disappointment.
Batman for 20 years. Okay, cool.
There's no disappointment camera for them to be all fancy. So for me, also I'm really excited to talk about favorite characters. So things that stuck out for me, I'm gonna just bring it up because it irked me, and Manderson and Barry were here when it happened. The weird, yeah, well, oh, favorite. Well,
Favorite.
he said the things that stuck out. Okay, I'm sorry. Never mind. I'll fix it.
My
So,
stick out
Carrie-
scenes are favorites.
So I'm sorry. I have a tendency to do that.
You're doing great.
He put the
Carrie in. He's not snapping. It's a closed fist. He can't
Barry
snap
is
it.
currently wearing the Infinity Gauntlet. That's what he does when he gets upset.
It's his
And he
blanket.
tosses his hair at me.
Are we gonna have a snapping?
Yeah.
But it may happen.
It's
I have
it's
two of
only
them.
aimed at me.
So,
So-
Amy.
Favorite part, Carrie in the Batmobile with when they do the shot of her through the sight where she's got that really evil like look on her face when she's just shot Clark during that sequence, and she's like,
She looks like the Joker almost.
She does. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. I was like, oh hell yes. And then it's so dumb, but it made me laugh so hard when Clark meets up with Bruce and they're in the field and Bruce has
Evil.
the dog and he's petting the dog, and Clark looks like a bad motherfucking romance.
That shirt.
That shirt. He was
With
like
the eagle.
Fabio and
With
the
the
eagle.
eagle.
Like, ah!
The whole stance of the eagle. Yeah, that
and
was
he's oh my god.
Amazing.
I was like, the part of me that's like, what the fuck? Like,
I paused
Frank
it and
Miller
went,
wasn't biased
What
at
the
all.
oh my god. I think just for how absurd that was played out was so good. Like it turned into being one of my favorite parts. And then of course, when we get to favorite character, I can just gush on that. So I'll try not to. But yeah, I'm gonna stop doing the hands at me, bro.
Let me go.
Oh my god.
They do kind of give Superman the American dad chin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
They give him like they're like, hey, look at my obviously phallic hair curl.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
it's not even a curl. It's
Shirt
an
down.
it's an
just-
erection.
It is an
It's
it is
just-
erect
it's
follicles,
just an
bro.
erection.
It is erect.
erection on your head.
My favorite part was very key. It was the point where I was like into the movie because like I was watching and I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing. Like
It gave you a nerd on at
I'm
this
like-
point.
I'm like, no,
Hey.
I was like, okay, we got pearls. Okay, we have a giant bat flying through the window. Like,
It's a shout out to year one.
yeah,
I
of
thought it
course.
was
They
the
all, every
metaphorical
single
bat.
one of them is a shout out to year one every single time. Anyway,
He doesn't like the pearls.
He doesn't like boils.
my favorite part,
Necklaces are the
because it was the part where I was hooked,
Google.
was when they recreated the cover where he's,
Yeah.
where he's
Oh, yeah.
leaping and then the lightning
Yes.
crashes and he's got the half Hulk Hogan pose.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And he's got his legs up really high as he's like flying over to the car.
So good.
And
And
it
the
just doesn't
lightning.
make any sense from like a physics standpoint, like how
Doesn't
that's
have
going to
to.
be an effective
No.
pose.
Don't need
but
it.
It's great.
It's beautiful.
It just because it just reminds me of that cover where he's just got his hand out.
Oh yeah.
It's gorgeous.
I got really
I
giddy
like
at that part.
that because it was just like straight from the pages.
So a little
That
fan
was
service.
beautiful.
Yeah.
All
Um,
of that fan service.
well done too.
Mm-mm-mm.
When it happens.
So let's start with
Nerds.
Okay.
Caitlin.
Nerds over yonder. How you feeling? Favorite parts? You
I
got
got one. I got one right off the top of my head. Unless you want to start,
You can start, Corey.
I'll start. Corey will start.
Corey starts.
One part that I really loved is such a simple little thing, but I remember like rewinding it and watching it again. Is during the fight with Soups. You have Robin's in the tank, and you just hear this voiceover that now he's distracted. I'll tell you the plan. And I was like, oh my god, that's awesome! Like he's thought
Yep.
this. Of course, Batman moment. He's thought this all the way through. He knows exactly when he's going to be distracted. Let me
He
tell
knows
you the
Clark.
plan for the night. That moment to me was like he's still got it. He's still Batman. So to me, it's such a small little thing, but that was really my favorite part.
Was it?
Yeah, it's a little thing, but it like for me, it was the little piece of thread that sold it for me.
Your voice kind of sounded like there was disappointment.
I can't. Yeah. I don't know.
There's
I
no flash
thought
in this
you were
one.
gonna
Sorry,
say-
my
Little
favorite part
moments.
wasn't good enough for you.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, well,
Okay, so
tough shit.
all right, follow up, Caitlin.
Wow.
Get it.
Sorry. So I definitely like the mud fight, the Mad Max
Yeah.
feel mud fight. It felt like he like destroyed Immortan Joe
Mhm.
a little bit. And then the other things were like animator choices. Because they were trying to convey things in the way that they did things. Because I noticed, like, it stuck out a lot to me in when Bruce Wayne's being shown as just a normal guy. The way that they chose to light his face in certain instances was like they would outline his face in light, but his eyes would be dark, as if he was
Godfather.
wearing a reverse mask.
Yeah, so his eyes are shaded. Yeah,
And then
It's
they did
Godfather.
the same thing with Gordon too. On certain, I don't remember where it was, but he had like an eye mask of like he was the one who's the superhero at that point. And then they also did that when he's Batman in the mask too.
Hmm.
And then the other thing was that what the fuck moment with the eagle and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Straight to the belly
because-
button.
And I liked it. It didn't translate well, but
hilarious.
it's the dog was supposed to be like the free roaming whatever, and
Yeah,
then the
so I was gonna
eagle's
say,
the icon,
And eats
but
the
it eats the mouse because it's
Yes.
only going to be out for itself rather than the
Yes.
dog who's always going to be loyal.
Which
like
I
I
like.
liked it.
symbology.
Symbology.
Jinx, you owe me
Ooh,
so-
Dr.
so-
Langdon.
I also like this
Langdon.
is something I was actually talking about before we recorded. There's a little nod. So the scene where Gordon is about to get, or you think he might get killed in the convenience store or whatever, but it turns out like he killed one of them. There's comics on the shelf and there's like Swamp Thing and V for Vendetta and stuff like that. Just a little nod that I loved.
See, you had more than one.
I did. It's true.
Now I'm happy. Now I'm happy again.
Oh, good. I'm
okay.
glad I could make you happy.
It's getting really uncomfortable.
Caitlin, do you have any-
Josh?
Josh.
It's what's hard about this is that I started rereading the comic as well and watching the movie.
Audiobook.
So it's like it's kind of bad to what I did like about it, that it was a good adaptation, in a sense. But my favorite sequence is when he's kind of having that realization of like, I can't fucking do this anymore. I'm Batman. This is
Oh, when he's watching the TV.
One specific part is when those guys are gonna mug him, and he's like, "Do it, come at me, bro," and they're like, "Oh fuck, he's into it.
Spud
Never
likes
mind."
Slice and dice.
I just remember
Slice
like,
and dice.
After he had a couple drinks with Gordon, he's
Yeah.
just like, let's fucking fight.
yeah, I just want to do this. I'm Batman.
Is Joe Swanson just bring it on?
Yeah. So it's such a tiny thing, but he's just like, do it. And those guys are like, oh, that was
Fuck
weird.
that.
Yeah.
I just want to second that I also really like that part
Yeah?
because I love fighting people a lot.
Wow.
And I feel like that in public
She does
like a
jujitsu.
lot.
So
Nice.
I'm always
That's
hoping
why you love the mud part, because it's a
I-
bunch of
it's
jujitsu.
great.
Uh-huh.
No, you just sometimes you're out in public and you're like, man,
I
I
wanna
hope
hit
some
somebody."
drunk idiot wants to fight me right now.
Give me a reason.
I've never-
Give me a
I
reason.
would love
I can't
to
say
kick
I've
his
ever
ass.
felt that way, but I'm glad you do.
Ever.
Yeah.
I think if people have felt that way about
I
me,
feel you.
but
Really?
What?
yeah,
They want you to get into a fight with them?
or they thought I was gonna get in a fight with them.
Wow. You're
But-
so kind.
Ali,
But
are
Ali's
you
the
saying
most
you want to
gentle
fight
person.
me?
Oh my god.
Next episode.
Fight.
Next episode.
Fight on, the fighting podcast.
We bear witness.
Josh, do
We
you
bear
have any more?
witness.
I'll think about it. Keep going, because I had another one, but it's totally blanking on me.
I'm sorry.
Thanks.
I would say, because I want to give a cinematic one
Mhm.
answer, because my actual answer is with Selena Kyle, but my cinematic answer is with Joker at the end, where it's like, and this is why I'm a fan, like this, if I had to argue or debate for their choice in voice actor for the Joker being a good one versus like a Mark Hamill, because like he was like catatonic for so long. He was retired as the Joker essentially,
Yeah.
and all he was is Joker, and you could argue all Batman is Batman, but he comes back to life right when he sees that he's back, and
Yeah.
it just like the tone of voice really struck well. And my favorite moment was at the end after he snaps his own neck, or actually, I think it's like right before he snaps his own neck when he's like laughing like dementedly.
Yeah.
And his face turns into like that more
Yeah.
classic like Joker, and he dies with that face. So it's like he won.
And then
like,
as he's burning, Batman's literally looking at him going, "Stop laughing." I was like, "Whoa, shit."
yeah. And so like
Batman's crazy.
So yeah, like if he had died and like slumped over and had like a weird like whatever slumpy face, then that would have been different. But the fact that he
Slumpy face. you know, the slumpy death
the old
face.
slumpy death face.
Everyone, when you
Classic
die,
slumpy
just make
death.
sure to have a slumpy death face, please.
Yeah.
Slumpy death face.
But it's like it's haunting him forever, and that's I really dug that.
He won.
Well, actually, another one would be kind of related to. Well, no, it is related to Joker, Josh, because it's Joker. When he is watching the news and he's catatonic, and they're talking about Batman, his like kind of like awakening, and you just see this tiny smile, and it's like it's the awakening of the chaos that's within him.
It's almost like some great evil that's been dormant, and then suddenly someone said like Beetlejuice 3 times, and he's like, "Oh, here I am, Batman."
That is a Batman.
Exactly.
For me, I mean, specific, it's going to be like if there's one part, it's going to be like right after Steve's part with the cops, but it's when he's like hunting down those mutants in the like abandoned building construction, and then or wherever the just robbers or gang people, and one of them says like, "Oh man, he's making noises. That's creepy. He's never done that before." And it's kind of like everyone knew of the legend of the myth of the Batman, but then now even more scared because like Batman's old and clumsy, but it still works in his favor. I just kind of like where that progression shows where in that line, it shows that people knew him, people were afraid of him, but people are even more afraid of him. And it also tells that Batman's not as quick as he used to be. And that's a through line throughout the entire films where like he's not as fast, he's not as strong anymore. Like he's and it's funny thing, he's
still pretty fucking strong.
Yeah, he's still very strong. But the thing is, he's capable.
Everyone thought Joker was Batman's greatest enemy. It's just time.
Yeah. But I mean, it's every part of Batman stuff. Like every time he's doing something, it's like Batman handling business. When he's like stopping Two-Face, when he's galvanizing the
One
city.
face.
Yeah, well, one face.
One face.
Whole face.
Just
Whole
face.
His face.
Hey there, face here.
Yeah.
Hey there, facey poo.
But I mean, when he's galvanizing the city to like stop the riots and like the looting and all that stuff, like I'd love to like, have you ever ridden a horse? I've never seen a horse. We're gonna learn fast.
Yeah.
It's like these
Shout
are
out to
clumsy
Zorro.
weapons. These are blah blah. Blah. Like we're gonna use your brain, our wits and our fists. And I was like, this is dope. This is amazing. I don't know. And then like every part where like it was kind of like good hero moments. Like it was still able to be dark and gritty, but still be like Batman saving the day. You know, and like the only reason why he's in trouble is because he's making the people who are in power show that how weak they are.
Yeah.
And that's why like I really loved that part, you know, like and it was just like in a world where you need someone that can operate outside the law and then handle justice in their way. I don't know.
In a world.
I knew. I wanted to say it, but I knew I wouldn't have the same impact, so I was hoping someone else would. So thank you for that. No.
But with that, yeah, I think we can go to favorite character / villain.
Yeah. I'm
So-
gonna pass this off specifically to Amy because she was so excited about favorite characters.
I just heard her go.
Yeah. So if
Literally
you,
rose up.
you could start
the
us off.
squeak. So let's put this in perspective. I was leaning back on the couch.
Yep.
And I'm also starting to drool. Oh, good Lord, help me.
She meerkatted.
Oh.
She meerkatted when you said, yeah.
You just made
That
her
was
day.
the yeah. Sorry. Woo. Yeah. So if anybody knows me at all and anybody asks what my favorite Robin is, and I have no shame, it's Carrie Kelly.
What?
Like, oh my
Did
God.
not see that
Oh my
coming.
God. Oh my God. Oh,
Weird.
We're
fuck that
besties
shit.
on this.
I'm sorry. I don't need somebody to be like, hey, fuck Batman. I am
Dick Grayson
for
would say that.
my girl straight up after being slightly rescued with her friend over at the arcade, goes out, buys a Robin costume and gets her butt out there and goes and saves his tuchus. I had for quite a long time a picture on my Facebook profile for my cover photo, and it's literally like a stick drawing of Batman holding up a little stick drawing of Carrie and saying to Alfred, I found her, we're keeping her. So
I like that a lot.
yeah, and it's exactly what like happens in the book. And then the movie, this animated movie, did such a great job of giving her so much, not just chutzpah. She wasn't Lego dick.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. She embodied everything that I love about her, and being able to see her just evolve into the reason why I love a Robin. Carrie Kelly. That's me. Woo, yay.
And
Oh
then,
wait, I have to have a favorite villain. Shoot. I have more qualms with her. No, do you know what? I'm gonna say this because it's really dumb. So the leader of the mutants, which was left field, he looked like a blobby pig, but it was probably for the massive bat nipples that he had.
Captain Black Nipples.
Yeah.
He looked like because
eat you.
wait, there was a so
Drink your bones.
in the animated in the 92 animated, there was a guy that looked like him, but he was more square, taller, gray, but had the same exact like giant black spear pointy of death nipples.
They're
Like
weapons.
you can't even find them in like a BDSM shop for those shoes.
Yeah.
Look into Batman.
Yeah.
and,
I
like,
thought they
tase
were.
him.
I
Like
thought
Scorpion. Like Scorpion with nipples.
Get over
Get
here.
over here.
exactly.
They're just-
Or it was like they're poison tips. Like you
Yeah.
just like tip,
Yeah.
is that why he does the
aesthetic.
chips?
And Batman's like, really?
That's what
nipples?
they be
Come
called.
on.
Those are hugs you want to feel but don't want to feel. So I was like, it was so left field for everybody else that was in there. I mean, Joker did a great performance. Two-Face, it was really nice to see.
Face.
You listed all
Yeah,
of them.
just
No, I didn't. I could keep going. There are so many.
The
But
guy
he
at the
was left field. And
convenience
the person
store. No, just kidding.
the mutant, the 17-year-old mutant that died in the store.
Nazi
The weird
nipple
mugger
lady.
guy that didn't go anywhere.
Well,
Weird
into
nipple
it.
people in this movie.
Eyes sideways, bro. Eyes sideways.
All right, I'm gonna cut you off, Manderson.
I was done.
I'd say my favorite character.
Well, let's see.
Favorite
Uh-huh.
protagonist.
Uh-huh.
I really like the way
Wait.
Jim Gordon was written.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. Okay. I thought I saw the
Um,
S was coming.
Because no.
Was he super? Was he an
Because
Uber?
like it's
I agree.
it's
there.
the Gordon we've kind of come to love. Like he's good at his job, but he knows where he needs Batman, as opposed to like the older ones where he's kind of a bumbling oaf.
And
It's
the
He's
hairstyle.
Lego
Yeah,
Gordon.
The hairstyle stayed the same
Joel
like the
Schumacher,
animated series.
very
Good
good
show.
Gordon.
and he was also like he's like they very clearly established he's 70 years old,
Mhm.
forced retirement, and he's still like, I'm going to get into the thick of things.
Yeah.
He rescues his neighborhood, and like
He rescues
his
himself.
his
Mhm.
speech when he's retiring is like, she's gonna have to face Yendel's gonna have to face this man, and she can either make him his enemy or she can learn from him. Like he acknowledges that
preach.
Batman probably should not be there, but Gotham needs Batman.
Yeah.
And my favorite villain,
Batman needs Batman.
I'm gonna say,
Oh,
I think Superman's my favorite
Ooh.
villain.
Let's wait for that.
Can we clip that? Can
Just because you
I
like
need,
Superman.
I need
Clip
that.
it, villain,
This is why-
Superman.
oh, we need.
I
Okay,
mean,
can
yes,
we
I do.
isolate
I'm
that?
not
I
gonna
need
shy away from the fact that I love Superman, but
You just
Shout
did.
it.
like
Mm.
that fight and just like the Superman that I love
You love Clark.
is the Superman that
You love All-Star.
I grew up with. It's the Superman that Bendis is now writing. This Superman is
Mhm.
one that just like,
Belly button.
you know
T-shirt.
what?
He's All-Star.
I'm going to bow to this government. I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do.
Became
I'm
a
going to be
tool.
your patsy.
Mhm.
He's the red
And
son.
that's not my Superman. And I
Hashtag.
like that Batman
Not my
just
Superman.
straight up beats him and then goes at the end says, I didn't have to go easy on you. I'm like, oh, okay. If you were going easy on him, that would have been way shorter. But yeah, he's my favorite, Superman's my favorite villain for all of those
Good call.
reasons.
Good call. That's a fair
Aw.
assessment. Well done.
You just in love with the Clark.
Yeah.
I'm me and then you.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Yeah, sounds good. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, all right, sounds good.
You sure?
My favorite. I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Let's start with my favorite
Character or villain?
Character.
There you go. One step at a time, baby steps.
One step at a time. I actually
Step by step.
I liked that Alfred was like
Yeah.
so much older than him,
Mhm.
yet was like still like working out his back
Oh yeah,
muscles.
Alfred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've always found that usually, even in a Bat story I like Alfred. I'm not
Mhm.
saying I don't like it. You know, don't want to spoil the grump thing.
Grump.
But I always love a good Alfred, and I thought this Alfred was really good. It felt very animated series,
Mhm.
mixed with kind of Tom King's Alfred in a lot of ways, where like
good.
they have like it's the obvious like servant, you know, master. Well, not I shouldn't say that. Employee, butler,
There you go.
employer
Buttles.
relationship, but they still got like the emotional part where he's still like where he's sad that he has to burn the house, and he looks at the books
Yes.
and he drops it because he knows he's dying.
Oh.
He's
And then
having
he
a
puts
stroke.
it back up, of course. And
that moment.
So I loved the emotion that Alfred always brings to any Batman story. So I actually would say Alfred is my favorite character.
Nice.
How it left field.
I like that.
For them apples.
I like that.
There's apples in left field.
There's apples in left field. My favorite villain
is David Barry.
David Barry.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. The hair, the way it flows.
He's great.
He does a really great,
my
easy,
favorite
like
villain
lazy Thor cosplay.
is Ronald Reagan.
Oh, you were gonna bring him up. I thought about that.
Yeah.
Well, in the hazmat suit, well, our boys did real good.
That's how you
got
start
some
off
good
a good
news and
Reagan
I got some
impersonation. You
bad
got to say,
news.
well,
Good news. That's bad news. Bad news is nuclear winter.
well.
Good news is we won an island. Yeah, I love that they just didn't even hold back in the way Miller was so critical of politicians of the time. They just put it right in the way he's just like, well, you know, America's great, and we're gonna let the local government handle that. And it's like, oh yeah, okay,
Because we're going to secure our interest. I mean, preserve freedom.
yeah. Then you're gonna send in Superman.
Love that.
All right, sounds good. So you're like every president's like, well, we won't get involved. Send in the Marines. So
I felt very Watchmen, Dr. Manhattan working for Nixon.
yeah. I loved Reagan as the bad guy.
They also
Steps.
shouted in. Bracing for
My favorite character were the Slice and Dicers.
Slice and dice. You mean Robin Dawn?
Robin Dawn. I'm going to incorporate.
Robin Dawn.
I'm going to find a way to
I liked when they
incorporate.
became Nazis.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to incorporate Slice and Dice into my daily conversations here and there.
Spud's not into it, bro.
No, God, it's the. I'm picking between the trio. I don't want to go with my usual because
We already know.
Batman, but
Terry.
again, Alfred and Gordon.
Batman was off the table because
Yeah, but he's like exactly. Yeah, Batman. You know what? You're right. Batman's off the table.
So then it is Robin Dawn. Oh,
Slice and Dice.
it's bad that I actually pay attention to know what their names
It's so
are.
close.
It
I'm
was
just
big on their shirts.
It was.
Maybe
My
some
name
people
is
don't
Dawn.
read very well.
My name's Ron.
In case you forgot.
It's Don.
Is your name again? No.
You're reading for Chicken Legs and Michelle.
Just slightly edging out Alfred. I'm gonna go with Gordon, the
Nice.
the guy who's
Nobody
been
picks
fighting as long as Batman, longer than Batman has. You could say it was rejuvenated when Batman first appeared, and always has been a defender of the Bat. And just he's like the Wyatt Earp who's now aging out, but isn't ready to age out. And that shout out to the hair and mustache, to that Jim Gordon look.
Oh, yeah.
The hair and the mustache doesn't matter. I don't think, aside from the show Gotham, because he's like 30, has there been a Jim Gordon presentation that's not the mustache?
The Keaton, Clooney, and
Oh,
the
God, that's
Schumacher one.
right.
Yeah,
That
the
was
Shag
Schumacher.
nipples.
Michael
That's
Golf.
the
Michael Golf.
bumbly one.
No, that was Alfred. My bad.
he was a fat Gordon. In the
Yeah.
Jesus.
Not a good Gordon. Not a good
He
Gordon.
wasn't a Harvey.
But just seeing the hair, the mustache, the true essence of Gordon, loved that. Just barely going over the Alfred in the mansion, crying at the baby book. I'm gonna get into that. It's emotional.
He will cry.
Best, my favorite villain. I'm gonna say it's talk show host David Indokrin, voiced by Conan O'Brien.
O'Brien.
By Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
Because he gave Joker a
That mug.
venue
Airtime.
to kill all those people. So you know what, David, you are the real villain.
Yeah, I am.
Someone called.
Good old Conan O'Brien.
He's actually really funny in person.
Second place, Slice and Dice.
There we go. I was waiting for it. I was like, when's it coming in?
So with us, let's change it up. Josh, you go first.
I am with Amy on this.
Okay.
Yes!
I love Carrie Kelly.
I'm giving you hearts.
I am the uncultured swine of the group when it comes to comics.
It's okay. I love pigs.
And so I don't know all the Robins. I don't know all of that.
I
And
don't
so
either, actually.
Tom died a little.
I don't
Yeah,
really,
the whistle sigh of Tom.
Ooh.
I haven't heard that in a while.
That's judgmental, Tom.
yeah. So Carrie for days.
And then
Villian?
My Villian is Two Faces always held a special
Face.
place in my heart.
Face.
Yeah,
Face,
just
face.
face.
Just face.
You can just call him Harvey Dent. You know what I mean?
He gives
Face.
good face.
Yeah. Moving along.
Kaylin.
I don't really
I don't know that character.
have. I know. I don't really have a favorite character
It's
in
the
this
mutant.
one.
Who
It's the
sucked
mutant
less?
leader.
Uh,
The dragon.
I guess Alfred, just because he's
There
so
you go.
loyal and kind and great. Favorite villain, I would say it's the mutant leader because of
Black
the
nipples.
nip tips.
Yeah.
Yes. Sassy.
Dark chocolate.
But actually, I think it's the president.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
also,
Well.
quick question: why was he green?
Green.
When he's on TV, it's like a color.
So what
thing.
they were doing is the same thing. They
Lizard?
also used. Yeah, he had a green tinge, but also whenever he was in the chairs and they had him initially talking, they started darkening right over the top of his cheeks and under to give him more like a crypt keeper type of like
menacing.
menacing.
Seems I'm a
lizard. He
Okay.
didn't have jelly beans.
No, he did not. That's a good point.
to gamma rays and
Okay.
become the Hulk.
God bless
Just
America,
curious.
Will.
Just curious about that. But that's it for me.
I'm gonna have to say Commish as well. Commish
Yeah.
is my favorite. Favorite villain was I loved this Joker.
Mhm.
I really did.
That's good.
I'm a big fan of the Joker, and this one hit a sweet spot for me.
Nice. I did want to say something about the Ronald Reagan
Well?
villain thing. You know, the whole because in Boondocks they mentioned how he's the devil because his Ronald Wilson Reagan, and then every single like name in his full name is 6 letters,
Oh,
so it's 666. Anyways, but
Ooh.
tangent over.
Omen.
wow.
Favorite character since Batman's off the table. Favorite character.
It doesn't have to be.
I mean, it's a
always-
Batman
That's
movie.
their
so-
rule
Yeah,
that they
that was
forced
our
on
rule.
themselves
Because I actually would not have chosen Batman as my
because they're
favorite
very
character.
Sith-like.
Oh, then it's Batman. then it's
There you go.
fucking
There you
Batman
go.
all fucking day, all the
Mhm.
time. No matter like so good. Like, and the cool thing was
Wait,
like,
you liked
say-
Batman, Tom?
oh fuck yeah, I love Batman.
Oh,
Wait, you mean this Batman and not Terry Batman?
I love this Batman and I love Terry as well. You can love things, but you just might love things more. It's kind of like children. You got to choose which one's your favorite.
Wow.
You don't
Tom.
have to
But you
do
don't-
that.
But you don't tell them.
I just realized that Tom is sitting under my Batman poster as well,
No.
and it's my Batman poster where he's flipping you off, saying I'm Batman.
Nice.
Tom, did you say it was so good?
It is the so good.
There it is.
And then favorite villain. I mean, you guys have all said pretty good ones. Just for variety, though, specifically, I didn't like the psychiatrist.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
The weird
Wolper?
afro who almost
Dr.
afro guy.
Wolper.
Yeah, him. I'm just like, dude, you are the reason why.
the enabling.
Yeah, like you're the reason why.
Batman's
people,
the reason.
Yeah, like you're the
That's
reason why
someone
people
was gonna
hate people
pick,
with
like,
compassion.
Joker wakes up after 10 years and it's just like, I want to go on TV. And he's like,
My-
of course.
My
of course.
favorite patient. Like you.
Let's put you on
stupid-
TV.
But I do like I was wearing. I think one time he's wearing like.
An anti-Batman shirt.
But someone is wearing
Yeah.
like a Watchman button.
No,
Mhm.
he's wearing a button
He's
that
wearing a
says
smiley
"Get
face.
real."
I thought.
He's wearing that, but someone's wearing a smiley face one, and that's a Watchman
It's
one.
not.
Hmm.
though.
Oh, I didn't
It's
notice that.
Lana Lang.
Oh, is Lana Lang?
No,
Oh,
sorry.
well.
I'm-
But no, okay. Yeah,
Never
so
They're
villain
having
is
side
fucking
conversations.
the psychiatrist.
Ali
The
Ali
psychiatrist.
Well.
Um,
Well,
and Mr. Ali Ali Oxenfree.
It is Batman Joker.
Okay.
Easy.
Keep it
Easy.
simple.
Wow,
Keep it
that was
simple.
quick.
So,
No one said Oliver Queen.
He likes vanilla ice
to me-
cream and he likes Snickers bars.
Yeah.
Oliver
Aw,
Queen,
those
I
are
will give a
yummy.
shout out for because I really liked his appearance in it.
I loved that. Like,
Um,
give me a piece
Nobody
of
brought
it.
up
No.
Selena.
Doesn't have to be a big piece.
That Stephen Amell did a great job as Oliver Queen in this one. Was that
I
him?
would have brought up Selena if she
That
was
was him?
in
Yes.
it for more.
I think they
She's
had
involved
far
with my
as
actual
the-
favorite moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, Batman Joker. I mean, I think that love tunnel was like, to me, that was the climax.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a
Ooh,
quintessential
that's so
moment.
meaty.
Yeah, like the
Wait,
Superman
you
stuff
said
was
the climax
resolution
of
for
the
me.
love tunnel?
Hey-oh.
I heard it
Don't
too.
we all? Anyway,
Um,
Batman.
So that moves on to our next point,
Well.
which is Jesus.
Well,
Well.
Qualms,
Can I go?
qualms over here
I
at the
got
Nerd on the
Psalms.
Road.
Qualms.
I got
My bad.
qualms all over
Okay,
the place.
Amy, you
Ew.
go ahead then.
I'm so optimistic. Okay, so the first thing.
Timer.
Let's go. Let's go. Put it on. So
We'll
first
do quick
off,
fire.
this is gonna sound really petty, but the weird Nazi chick without the shirt, her boobs
Bruno?
didn't move, and that pissed me off.
They were noticeably implants.
I know. We already had this
Even
problem.
implants would move.
This is the thing. I literally broke this down with Barry and Manderson. Okay, even if she had implants, it literally would have made some movement. There was no movement. This is like she got them hacked off and had a plate put in, and then they were like stapled down.
She
Anyway,
was like Drago.
I can't.
maybe it's really strong tape.
That was some apparently that's some magical
that red.
swastika.
It wasn't a swastika. It was so it held better.
It
Exactly,
was-
that's the
it's
perfect way to hold
fashion
them.
tape? No. Side note. Okay,
No.
that pissed me off. That's really dumb.
Super no.
I'm sorry. But that just hurt my soul.
DC, next animated film, lots of bouncing. Okay? Okay.
At least movement that's real.
Baywatch.
Gosh,
There you
now I'm
go.
The
distracted.
first rated X animated film.
Some of the I don't even know the language that was coming off the mutants was kind of just annoying.
Slice and dice.
Batman don't chiv.
Yeah, slice and dice.
Batman don't chiv. Like, okay, bro. Like, I get it. You
guys are missing words in these sentences.
Stop. Then the other thing, Reagan bugged me just in general. But
Well.
that's
Jeez, I'm gonna laugh every time it's gonna happen.
there was no jelly beans. Okay, is that a problem?
That is a
I need-
problem.
There was no jelly beans
agree with you on
anywhere on
that.
that desk.
Nancy, where's my Werther's original, Nancy?
I'm dying. And then
How many qualms do you have?
actually, consistently this isn't bad as it usually gets. And then the other one that I'm gonna
That's a long list.
go with. I know, for me, right? I'm the optimist in this group. Magic.
Here.
Then the last thing had the length of the frickin' movie for me. I know that the book is a 4-issue mini and it is wordy as fuck. But there were spaces, especially within the first 5 minutes, where there was no dialogue and it was grunting. And I had brought it up to somebody else that no, it wasn't like the sexy I'm Batman grunting. It was like the I'm getting hit by shit grunting. Yeah.
Wait, that's different. That's still the sexy one. Well,
So for me,
That's still the sexy one.
it's all sexy when it comes from a Steve at this junction, man. He's tired. So, I was expecting it to have a lot more dialogue to carry that way to start off almost the 30 minutes after the first 30 minutes of Killing Joke, where I was basically getting my comic book. It was very close adaptation, but I was just like, okay, so we're shooting things. Okay, so we're still shooting things. Okay, so we're driving a car and oh, okay. And no.
Yeah, we get the qualm, Amy.
I know, but it's me, man.
I know it is.
I'll say when I was watching it with my AirPods in, and because I was watching it, I finished it on lunch at work, and I was walking around, and the moments when those machine guns start firing, I may have crouched a little bit. Jesus, what is happening? God. Oh, it's the movie still. Okay.
Oh,
I do
also-
work in Stockton, but anyway.
Also, Robin's parents, Carrie's parents, were
yeah.
so like
Whose?
Carrie's
Oh,
Carrie's
Well,
parents.
there was definitely
They're just like, we're stoners.
They
I
do
don't remember
kind of-
Chicago. I was tripping.
they exaggerate, I think all the sides, like all political agendas in this movie, they do kind of exaggerate the hell out of them. You get the fascists, you get, the bad guys wearing Nazi swastikas on her chest, on
The
her
lack
boobs.
of boob movement.
And then you get the exaggerated other side, the doctor, the parents who are getting high. So it's like they
well,
did a
there's
good job
nothing
of
wrong with getting high. It's the fact that it's
the
just
way
like,
the dialogue. Yeah, the dialogue. I know.
We're
yeah.
getting high, and I'm like, shut up.
Frank Miller goes, and the movie did this too. Frank Miller goes kind of, at the time, he went kind of cheap. It
Mhm.
was kind of like, why create a nuanced moment when I can kind of get a cheap, like,
Just dig at them.
yeah, just be like, oh, they do drugs, they were tripping, like,
Yeah.
the same way he uses like sexual assault to kind of just be like, oh, look, shock.
So you mean this is like the episode when I first was on with you guys and we had the Frank Miller talk?
I have no idea because
That was Alan Moore.
That was Alan Moore.
That was
Thank
Alan
you.
Moore, but
Thank you.
yes.
I didn't remember if it was Miller or Moore.
I remember episodes.
There was somebody about assault, and I was just
I agree on Carrie's parents were a qualm. I thought like it was kind of, again, it was kind of just cheap.
Mhm.
And for me, what was the name of the actor who was Batman?
Frank Welker.
RoboCop.
RoboCop.
Peter Weller.
So I didn't
Robo
like,
Peter?
I didn't like RoboCop. He felt a little too one note. Like even
Better alive.
yeah, even when he was up on the horse on the top of the mound, he was like, "I'm going to increase my voice this much." It wasn't.
It's like how I talk.
Exactly. Your excitement. It was level.
Manderson
It's
voice.
like, hey, I'm
Oh.
excited. Woo.
It was just louder
Woo.
than one tone.
So I liked his voice.
I heard that.
I liked his voice, but I didn't like how
The way
much
they
it didn't change.
Yeah.
And also, I always have this gripe
You always do.
that I need Bruce Wayne's voice and Batman's voice to be different.
Exactly.
Not as extreme.
I agree.
Not sort of. We don't need that.
How dare
but,
you.
Like,
How dare you.
We need a little.
I'm not wearing hockey pants.
No.
we need an audible difference.
There has to be a difference. Yes, I
as
agree.
opposed to like George Clooney being like, well, let's go.
You need
Let's go rob a casino.
yeah, Robin.
Huh?
Let's
Come on.
let's go
Let's go.
knock
You need
over.
Keaton.
Yeah.
Where's
I
Brad?
need my
Where's
back.
Brad?
I need just a little bit of a difference. And for me,
You
when
need Conroy,
when
you
he
need
put on
Keaton.
the cowl, he was still the same. Not that his voice was bad, but there wasn't a big change.
Yeah.
So I think that, and then Carrie's parents, his voice, and I get
I get everyone's points about the Joker, but for me, it was not Joker enough.
He was a nice Joker, but he was very middle. I mean, like, I'm sorry.
He was a nice Joker.
He was actually. He was really good when he came out of his comatose state. He was a balanced Joker, but he wasn't so.
I wanted it to ramp up faster.
You wanted to see him get to
Crazier,
his
faster.
tunnel of love moment.
Yeah,
much
I
faster.
wanted him to get much. I wanted to get much more ha 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 in the interview, and he didn't. But yeah,
Nice.
that's my qualm.
That was
Anderson?
small compared to my list.
Amy did just say that she wanted him to reach faster in the tunnel of love.
I needed him to
Anderson,
get
go ahead.
faster up that tunnel of love,
I
bro.
agree on the Batman voice, and then I think there was some monologue from the book that they didn't do that kind of
Made you sad.
it made. Yeah, I feel like there was more that could have been done with certain things. With that, I get why they didn't do it, but it was disappointing to me.
But I remembered another one.
Of course you did.
I know, but it
He
pissed
put the
me
gauntlet
off.
back on. He put the gauntlet back on.
Stop threatening me with a closed fist, bro.
You have 3 seconds.
Fat Lana Lang.
Okay, there we go.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
Suck it, you
yeah.
jerks.
Was that end of Manderson's?
Yep, that's the end of mine.
Oh, easy.
With Amy.
I like to keep it pithy.
Steve, did you have any?
Oh, I didn't go. My bad.
You were trying to go in the tunnel of love, bro.
Oh, that was right into the mic. I'm sorry, guys.
Well,
They're all deaf. They won't be doing a podcast
I'm
any
just
longer.
hearing the OGs, which is really funny.
Qualms. It wouldn't be again because it's not my favorite Batman, so wasn't as tied to this character as much. But Slice and Dice got annoying after a while, to the point where I can't stop like saying it. It's just ingrained in my head now. Slice and Dice. The exaggeration of the parents. That was I get what
Chicken legs.
what Barry said was correct. It wasn't well thought out. It was just a dig. That's Frank Miller, the way he wrote it.
Yep.
Sometimes
I
it
actually
sucks being true to the source material.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. Otherwise, I mean, I actually respect the Superman character and hated him in this movie until the end, until that part.
yeah.
The winking.
Yeah, the wink. I like that. But again, it's American Dad chin and penis on the head, like I said earlier.
It's phallic follicles, bro.
It is belly button shirt. But yeah, that mainly was Slice and Dice.
Okay.
Dope. Tom, you want to start us off on our qualms? DJ Kwame qualms.
DG Qualms in the house putting that remix on.
4 stars.
Jesus. So qualms with this, I think it's really just in art style. And so the big thing with animated stuff, a lot of people are like, I don't like the animation. The animation in this is fantastic.
Yeah.
But the art style itself is not great. And the difference between that for any of those who are the uninitiated means that the art style is like how it looks and the animation is like how it moves. And so like the fight scenes are cool. It's not choppy and stuff like that. That's good animation. So a lot of people will compare like, I don't like this because they rebooted and it has a different animation. It's like, no, the animation's amazing because we got better and better and better. But yeah, it's really just that.
The animation's your qualm?
The art style.
There are some,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
yeah, because they cleaned it up quite a bit, but they're still tethered to, Frank Miller.
Yeah,
Right.
everyone's
They still have to-
gigantic.
Yeah.
I don't know how Batman gets through doors.
It doesn't.
It's
Oh
just
my
like,
gosh.
He could barely fit his finger into the pistol.
Yeah, he does
he's
struggle
like
with
shaking,
it.
and then is like, how do I get this in here?
What is this, a gun for ants?
but yeah, I mean, it's just that, and I mean, kind of, I think echoing a little bit of Barry. I think your qualm of like Peter Weller when once he's delivering lines and when he like has to yell, it just goes louder. There's not a lot of oomph behind it. Like, although that is my favorite line of the movie, it's like, tonight we are the law. Tonight I am the law. And he says it in such a weird way. It's like, you're just enunciating more.
But you miss that Kevin Conroy, like, I am the knight. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't hear that, like, you
Theatric.
don't hear the gruff. And you're like,
Oh, yeah.
it's like, yeah, I want that, baby. I want my pants to get a little tighter. You know what I'm saying?
The cowl to get a little tighter.
I don't, but yeah.
I agree. I'm gonna go off those coattails there and say I think just a couple moments of his delivery, because for the most part I like Peter Weller, but just that if it's like I can imagine the director saying like, yeah Peter, that, but just a little louder, and it's like, okay, but there's no like extra emotion behind anything. So that was my only real gripe with the
God damn it.
with the actual animated version.
Qualm, you
Oh, you
douche.
snuck that in,
You did,
and
you
I didn't
snuck
even
it right in.
hear it.
Sweet baby
I
Josh.
almost got away from it too.
No, you never.
Qualms, right?
DJ Qualms.
DJ Qualms in the house. What I would say is
All my children.
Qualm my children.
Qualm my beating heart.
Yeah.
I really had a problem with the Superman. Just to me, just seemed douchey.
Well, he is.
He is.
No.
Sorry, Manderson. Batman. Superman is a douche.
Yeah,
he said it
here's the
earlier.
thing.
He said he's like, yeah, Superman's kind of my
No.
favorite villain.
I mean, in all forms of media, he's a little douchey.
Oh, hey now.
Because he knows he's the strongest being of all time, and he's just like, yeah, I'm strong. He picks up Batman. What can you do? I'm like,
Well,
can you
here's the
relax?
thing. I
Well,
don't
stop
know
reading
Oh, I
that.
forgot about
Crossovers.
that.
But here's the thing. I don't know that.
Yeah.
And so for the uninitiated
Oh, no,
or
no.
uncultured or something. No, I'm just saying
yeah.
so I don't know that. And
Gotcha,
so that
gotcha,
comes from knowledge,
Gotcha.
unknowing. So when I see this, I'm like,
It's new.
what the actual
Gotcha.
F is happening? And then I know that we were laughing about it, but the fucking eagle scene immediately took me out. I was like, I was doing the pre-core, the elliptical, and my wife was watching it with me, and I paused it, and I just went, what the fuck?
I love that. I loved it.
It just,
Because
I mean, it's like like what we were talking about on part 1 with Capeless on Twitch, the campiness. Like it was just, there was campy takes me out a little bit. And so seeing that, I was like,
They snuck in some camp.
they snuck in some hokey camp, and I
Slip
was
that
like,
shit.
I think I want to wear my shirt like that from now on.
just
cause.
just cause.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was, I didn't really like the way that Joker looked. I mean, I think we talked about that, about the book as well.
Yeah.
But I
Vince McMahon.
yeah, I just, there's something about it.
I wasn't ready for that. That's good.
But yeah.
I'm sorry. I have another qualm. I know this is
You
a voice.
would.
This is an animation and voiceover thing, but the additional voices is the same person, and it's super just
Apparent.
Clear.
It's Yuri Lowenthal, and I'm just like, dude, Ben 10, Sasuke. You don't need to be mutant number 1. You don't need to be son of Batman.
Well, they also had
You don't
Rob
need to be-
Paulson. They also had a ton of people in there, like
They
big
did.
names.
But it was just so.
you were just listening for the one.
Well, no, he has a very distinctive voice.
So does Rob Paulson.
So does Peter Weller.
Yeah.
Peter Weller plays two characters, Batman, Bruce Wayne, but he plays like a bystander, a cop, a gang member, another gang
like
member.
in the same.
Yeah. Well, that's the issue. They had like 4 people.
Well, and then he doesn't change his voice,
yeah.
and so I was like, I hear it.
So it's like a video game NPC.
It's like hearing Kevin Conroy play like 4 different random characters. You're like, that's Batman, and he's doing the Batman voice. I'm like, that's super noticeable. Didn't anyone just say like, hey, do your regular voice? Like that was one thing I was like, oh, come on.
I'll go next.
Yeah.
For me, I think I said this on that Capeless episode as well, but Frank Miller's stories always depress me a little bit. It's always like I just have this kind of
Really? Why?
I don't know. I can't figure it out. It's not even depression. I just kind of feel icky afterwards.
It's not clean.
I feel icky.
I do, and it's just and like I remember the first time watching it. I watched it again. I said to prep for this, but the first time watching it was before I had read it, and so I got when Batman dies and Superman's all effed up and everything. I was like, what the fuck? Like, why are we telling this story? And then it to me it almost. Like, I dig it. Don't get me wrong. And again, I think like Tom said, it's kind of in the story's DNA where Batman wants to be done, but he still wants the city protected. So he's got to go underground and train all these people. But it almost seems like a Deus Ex Machina kind of thing. Because maybe I missed it. I don't remember. Or maybe I'm just not recalling. But did he explain how he faked his heart
Pill.
Is that
He
what it
took
was?
A pill.
Yeah, I missed that part.
Yeah,
That's all.
It was just a really quick thing, but he had like a glass of water and he took it and he's like, okay, I have this much time.
Got it. It just, to me, it seemed like a like, hey, just kidding, everyone's fine kind of moment for me. And it took away from the gravity of a lot of it, I guess, if that makes sense. Bringing him back, being fine. So that's it.
Yeah.
Karen.
Oh my gosh.
I know one
you
of
can't
yours
kill Batman,
specifically.
Let me just get out the list
Is that a scroll?
I'm
That was a
sorry, but
scroll.
yes.
That was
Where
an
do you get a
old-timey
scroll?
Like
I
scribes, like
there-
Deckard Cain.
I didn't. There's a lot. Okay, so Alfred dying alone made me so upset.
Oh yes, yes.
Like Alfred having a stroke with the burning mansion in the background. Like even if he knew he was gonna die, Bruce couldn't take like 5 minutes to be like, here's a luxury like limousine that's robot driven to come pick you up so that you can have a comfy bed to sit in when you're all
While you
alone and
die.
have a stroke.
Well, he
No,
didn't know
he
he was going to have a
dies-
stroke.
Doesn't matter. Like he could have had some exit strategy to not make like a
Him have
100-year-old
to
man
hoof it. Yeah.
hoof it with
Yeah.
a cane in the snow after nuclear winter. That was just like, really, you couldn't have thought that through. Yeah, I needed more emotional closure with Alfred.
yeah, no, I
And-
think that's legit.
I was very upset
Let's
about
not
it.
have
I
you
was
watch
not.
Dark Knight
That's one of
Rises.
those icky things I was talking about. It's just like this character that we've grown up to be like probably the most loyal person in the Batman universe,
And he dies alone.
and he just dies alone.
Sad.
burning down
Miller, man.
Wayne Manor.
with
Yeah.
having lost everything and thinking that his Bruce might die too.
Yeah.
So like he just died, without any kind of hope. So that super sucked. And then and also the art style, because when Bruce was being the old lady in the liquor store, holy shit. Like
It was dope.
yeah, but like also the proportions were so
It was Mrs. Doubtfire.
it was so bad.
Yeah.
Like normally me I'm usually very like I like the movie about everything, but this one I was just like holy shit.
She's a
There's-
freeway.
Like her one finger is bigger than like a can of soup. It was huge. Yes, Josh.
Only
Heavy rep.
because it reminded me another qualm that I have,
Hmm.
and maybe this is a character design, but the girl that had like the
Bruno.
Bruno, like
with the
I-
swastikas on her boobs.
but I probably bring this up every time there's like this kind of design thing. I just don't get it. I don't understand why somebody's costume has to be
So
that.
what he's saying for any of those that haven't watched it, this is like Nazi woman with swastikas on her boobs.
Swastika pasty, like
yeah, and so she's
electrical
she's
tape.
not wearing a shirt. It's just red pasties on her nips.
Look, Frank Miller just likes to give people weird nipples.
swastika, like just black electrical tape swastikas on her
Or they're
nipples.
red.
But
Are they red?
They're red.
Yeah,
but
they're red.
I want to say you read the book recently.
Yeah.
What's the difference in her animated costume versus her comic book one?
Oh, I don't remember. My
Her
brain
ass
fuzzy.
is showing
Oh, really?
as well.
Really?
In
And
the
I'm
comic?
like, this is much.
Frank Miller.
This is
This
very
is-
much.
This is much.
It's too much. And I'm
Ooh.
like, could you reel it in? Frank Miller!
Sorry, just because it was in the scene. that
Oh
you
no,
were just
no,
talking
that's
about.
fine. I have plenty more to go. I'll keep it brief, I swear. Yeah, Superman was an issue. The what the fuck eagle dog scene.
Yay!
that
We're
was-
friends on that.
Yeah. High five. And then having I don't remember her name, the Robin
Carrie.
Carrie, having her be like, haha, I'm gonna murder Superman. This is the best day of my life. Like that was a bit weird to me too, for Bruce to involve her in something that like, hey, kill an American icon. Like you should just do that. And she's all about it and like giddy about it.
Because she
I
calls
get
him
that.
boss.
Could I argue that Batman knew she couldn't kill him?
Well,
Yeah.
it's all the plan. And so, I
I,
mean,
Yeah.
I guess I like maybe it's more the choice to make her giddy about it.
It's like
Rather
giving a kid a
than-
squirt gun and being like, here, and he's like, I'm gonna kill someone. You're like, sure. I don't know.
Okay.
And I
All
also-
right.
also-
I will let that pass.
I'll
then.
also jump on the argument of like, Batman has kind of known, like, with kids who want to do this life, he can't really stop them.
No, that's
And
true.
you
The best he can do is guide
It's
him.
kind of like when you want to drink underage, you might as well do it with your parents, who's going to protect you, versus like doing it on your own.
Yeah,
So
that's fair. And then the jabs that he did for everything, like the president's this and the stoner parents or that, like that definitely bothered me a lot because it was everywhere. It just felt like society is stupid. Anarchy saves the day. Like, I don't know. I
Well,
felt
not anarchy,
not
but,
anarchy,
but controlling it,
controlling
like his
it, yes.
control.
Yeah,
Because anarchy is what the mutants and the Son of Batman wanted. And
Yeah.
he's like, I am the law. And it's like
controlled anarchy. Yes.
control it. I mean, that's a vigilantism thing. So,
True. And then also the Joker when Batman like puts the batarangs in his arm and eye and whatever.
of your mind?
Yeah. When he says that, I was like,
Dude, there's a thing in your eye.
No. It was more of like, you didn't need to say that. You already knew, like, end game.
He was going
here.
for blood.
He's going for blood because the Joker was also going way past what he normally does too. Because I think he kind of knew this was going to be the last thing. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like they could have chosen more poetic way
to me, what it was is how quickly
Batman turned.
he did it.
Yeah.
There was no hesitation, which I think Joker, who's fought him for his entire career almost, who's supposed to have known his opponent more than probably anyone, may have been surprised at how quickly he takes the hostage, and within a frame, he's already thrown the batarangs into his eye and arms.
I think to kind of Caitlin's point, it's kind of like how Josh felt about Superman. It's like kind of like Joker's whole MO is to push.
Yeah.
It'd be a provocateur, as some would say.
Yeah.
To push Batman to kill. And all of a sudden you see like Batman's like, oh, okay, I didn't know we were already there. You know, when you play competitively, you have the warm up round. He was not.
There's no warm up round.
He was like, oh, he's ready.
He was just like battering in your eye. What are we doing? You're like, oh shit.
Okay. And that's why he's like, this is the day that we've been dreaming about, baby. So,
yeah. I guess I just wish that they would have skipped that. Like, are you out of your mind? And gone straight to like, this is it.
Okay.
Like him being excited.
I dig that.
I was actually going to ask like, would you have liked it the slower progression? But you said no, go straight to 100.
Yeah. Well, they both did.
Yeah.
Because he killed like hundreds of people immediately. So
yeah.
Cool.
Don't try to act like it's not happening.
Yeah.
I dig that.
Oh man, I don't know if I have any more actually. I'm sure I do.
A good list, though.
but that's.
Can I just say something real quick? I'm really proud of you.
I was gonna say he's probably proud of you.
That shows the wrong.
You
gripe.
guys may not know this, but that's the most qualms she's had with something.
She usually likes the movie.
I usually like the movie.
And then has no
Nice.
qualms.
I'm proud of you.
But that leads us to our almost last part, which is where we rate. We rate these pieces of art. And so the Crusaders, you guys have your own set of individuals who you have guessed who's the grump. So go ahead and rate. Go up on. It's a 1 to 5, and normally here at Nerd On, I don't know why it became the thing, but we've said it where it's like a 5 is where you wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
For me, I say that if
it's not how it originally started.
Yeah, I don't know.
But now it's
because you're saying a 5 was I'd suck the director's dick.
Yep.
Yeah, that was Corey.
Correct.
And it's only Corey. So rate 5s, please. But I put if it's a 4, then it's like in a masterpiece level. Anything under that, it's just there. We have normally never gone really low unless your name is Ali. But
I've gone low.
Not that low. But
no, that's true.
But yeah, so 1 through 5, your guys' ratings.
Anderson.
I'm gonna go 3, 7, 5, 2.
Wow.
3752. Dig it.
3752. Okay.
Still Price is Right going on.
I'm gonna go 3753.
Oh, dang.
my!
Stand corrected.
I dig that.
Price is righted, you boy.
$1, Bob.
Amy?
My rating overall for this particular Batman animated series, I'm gonna give it a mostly for Carrie. Actually, I'm gonna give it a 4.2.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
7.3. Carrie. It's all Carrie. I want Carrie. Give
Carrie
me
all day?
Carrie.
All day, all day.
Thank you.
Carrie,
Cheers.
all day or day.
And Barry?
Guys, you were all totally wrong.
Oh, snap.
Nah, bullshit. It's 2.5.
Oh,
there it is.
Gee.
There it is.
Yeah, 2.5. There were parts that I was like, yes, but overall, I was like, meh.
Okay. So you all got your grump.
I dig
Right.
it.
So
now it's our turn, huh?
It's our
Tom, why
turn.
don't you start us off, Mr.
Yeah.
Batman himself?
and plus I have no votes against me. So usually you go with the person who has the least amount of votes.
Yeah.
That's
how you decide the killer in a mystery.
Okay, I don't have any votes
The
either.
least
Okay,
likely.
You'll go next.
Okay.
This is a 4.3. This is 4.3.
Wow.
4.3. Wow.
Wow.
All right.
4.3.
That's higher than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Really?
Same.
Yeah.
That's lower than I thought it was gonna be. Because I love this. I love it. And for what it is, for being Elseworld, for being a non-part of the normal continuity, like just being a cool Batman story. Like, like I don't know. I just
It's Batman.
So it's really
3.5.
the story is around
What?
it. You're doing 3.5?
3.5.
Okay.
3.5.
3.5 is core.
3.5 for me.
Mr. Ali Oxenfree.
What was yours?
Mine's 4.3.
4.3.
4.31.
Okay. I'm gonna go 4.5.
Yeah, you're my boy.
Yeah.
You're my boy, Blue. You go.
No, you go.
You have less votes than her, Josh.
Sweet baby Josh.
Fewer.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna say a 3.2.
3.2.
Oh my God, we picked the same.
Yeah.
We have a tie.
We have shared grumps.
So that means
The
everyone
first
who
time,
voted
yay,
on our side won.
What an upset.
Wow.
What an upset,
All right.
everybody. Okay.
So that's good. I feel good
Awesome.
about that.
Wow.
I wasn't much
Yeah.
higher than you guys.
No,
Yeah, no,
not
you're
really.
pretty close.
all
You're pretty
right.
close.
I feel good about that.
That's
I feel
fine.
complete.
Can we just? I do feel complete, actually. You know
Yeah.
what?
I feel complete.
I feel complete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crusaders, that's our sign that we're complete.
Thank
We
you all for
did it.
joining
That our
us.
hearts are filled.
It's been an incredible conversation.
I want to say that I'm very glad you guys joined us.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
very excited to do this show with all my best friends.
And
Aw.
I
Nice.
want our audience or anybody who's listening to be able to find you. So where can they? You guys kind of gave us all your personal socials up
Yeah.
front. What about the show? Like, where can everybody find you guys?
That might help, wouldn't it?
A little bit.
So you can go to thecapelesscrusaders.com, and that's going to get you to everywhere. That's going to get you to twitch.tv/thecapelesscrusaders. I just even mispronounced it.
Crusaders.
It's going to get you to our YouTube, to our Facebook, to our Instagram. So thecapelesscrusaders.com will get you everywhere.
Everything.
Cool.
Very cool.
Highly
We'll
recommend
put
y'all
some
check it out.
put some links down below as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
for
When this
sure.
goes up,
Cool.
so.
Everybody at home, thank you so much for listening. You really are the reason that we can keep doing this.
Mhm.
Listeners, patrons, everything. We appreciate it all. You can get everything about Nerd On at our website, nerdon.tv. Simple, sweet, to the point. All that social is there. All of our content is centralized there. Go there. Or be square. Do people still say that?
Yeah.
It's hip
Yeah.
to be square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be there, be square.
Real
Okay.
L7.
Like all those chins.
Real L7
All
there.
square chins.
Yep. But as always,
Nerd on.
Nerd on.
Does that always
Perfect.
It was beautiful.
Ending broadcast.